Hi, this is Ryan. Can I help you?
Hey Ryan, this is Tom Harchie with Integrity Capital. I I'm the CMA here, and I'm just reaching out to find out about what Decker Company lends on. Is there somebody there that could give me some details on that?
Yeah, you can talk to me. I handle originations generally for the kind of the western states specifically. So it depends a little bit on where you're looking for, but I'd say I cover most of the western states.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, we do work with clients all over the U.S., but definitely we're based out of Scottsdale, Arizona, so we definitely have a
yeah,
presence in the western states and work with a lot of clients from there.
pretty
So
pretty hot out there right now.
no, it's only 110 today, so we're
So
kind of
so
jeans and long sleeves. Yeah,
put your jacket on, right?
exactly. Yeah, not it's hot once it hits 115.
That's awesome. Well,
So
nice to meet you, Tom. Who are you with? What
nice to meet you, Ryan. So when you're saying Western states, is it California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona? What how far east do you go on the Western states?
Yeah, I cover, yeah, so like California, Utah, Arizona, Nevada. Um, so generally, those are a little bit of New Mexico, maybe, but yeah, I would say for the most part, those are kind of the areas. And then we have people for each region. So we've got about five
Mhm.
producers that cover the whole United States. So.
Okay, okay, good. And then what sort of properties do you guys lend on over there?
Yeah, so we're a CMBS lender, so commercial mortgage-backed
Mhm,
securities. So basically, we focus on the four food groups.
mhm,
Office, retail, industrial, apartment. Obviously, industrial kind of will do self-storage as well.
mhm,
So four food groups, and typically we're doing everything from call it, 5 million is generally our minimum. I know there's some
mhm.
small balance lenders out there. That's not really us, but so 5 million is typically the min that we want to look at essentially for our deals.
Okay, and then the term that you use there, that CMBS, um, is that is that like conventional lending, or what is that exactly?
Yeah, so commercial mortgage-backed securities. Basically, we are a um, you know sort of what we consider a securitized lender. So what happens is we will book the loans and then we sell them off into tranches or pools that get securitized in the secondary market and go, kind of like, they'll trade as securities and bonds and things like that. So we don't hold the paper. We're not a balance sheet lender, but we're kind
Mm,
of like a table funder where it's, we're pricing based upon what's going on in the bond market.
mhm.
And then BP Spires will come in and acquire, the loans from us once they're packaged up and rated by the rating agency as well. So that's kind of the world that we scour in.
Okay, so you guys, uh, so you're just doing lending and then selling off the loans and packages. Do you do anything in like as traditional banking? Is checking accounts? You have client requirements for clients to open checking accounts or anything like that, or do you even offer those sort of services?
Yeah, no, it's for CMBS, definitely completely different from a bank. We don't do any banking relationships, no deposits. We're not doing any in-branch stuff, so we're completely different, and we think obviously better in the sense that we just do big deals. We're very unique from a bank. Our pricing is probably more competitive in some instances,
Mhm,
and a little bit more complicated probably just because we're a non-recourse lender. Banks are
mm,
typically
okay.
recourse lenders, so we don't We don't do recourse on anything. So there's just a little bit more scrutiny on the underwriting typically for our deals.
Okay. And then when you're looking at properties, are you looking for investment properties or owner occupied, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it's all investment.
Okay.
It's 100% investment. Don't do owner occupied. So it's, single tenant, multi-tenant investment properties that with good tenants we can kind of get our arms around and understand. We focus on major metropolitan areas. We don't typically, I mean, we can, but we need to understand the story. When we go into a tertiary market, it gets a little trickier. So we generally like to be in major metropolitan areas for our projects. And we are a cash flow underwriting lender, and we want to make sure that the income is appropriate in place, and that we can get an appropriate payback based on. So we do a sort of, we'll look at the debt yield, make sure it's appropriate for the asset type. Debt yield is essentially the cash flow that we underwrite divided by the loan amount. And we, need to probably have a minimum of 7.5% up to like 8.5%, depending on the asset type. So.
Okay. Okay. And so it's it sounds like on these deals, you're not doing anything on the construction side then, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, we don't do any
Okay.
construction. It's just permanent. It's just existing assets. We don't do bridge lending. There are lenders that do that. We don't do that. So it's just, stabilized, occupied assets that are cash flow, essentially.
Okay.
We can do things if they're brand new leases and going in. We can definitely do that. We just need to make sure that they're in the property by the time that we close. So.
Okay. So at that point it's cash flowing. I see.
That's good.
And then what sort of loan to values are you lending up to?
Yeah, we'll go up to 80 typically. I mean, we can do a mezz piece behind that if needed, but I would say generally set 75, 80% is kind of the cap that we're generally doing, I would say, with some mezzanine financing if needs be.
Okay. Okay. And as far as terms go, how long are the loan terms?
The loan terms are generally a 30-year amortization. It's fixed for 5, 7, or 10 years. Most people are doing 10 years. We don't really go past that. We can do interest only, sometimes up to 10 years if needs be. Depending on the project, we'll price a little bit higher for it. But typically we can do interest only. We do a spread over the treasury. So we usually use the 10-year treasury plus a spread.
Okay.
Our spreads are going to be anywhere from 225 up to 325. Just depends on the asset, the risk, leverage, things like that. So that's typically how we price things.
Are those rates fixed during the loan period, or?
Yes, they're fixed for the whole period.
Okay.
We do not lock the rate until we get to commitment. So some people will rate lock up front. We don't do that. Some will take a fee and then rate lock, but generally we just lock when we hit the commitment letter.
Okay. Okay. So rates are locked when the loan at a commitment, and then what's as far as an origination fee on the CMBS loan? What sort of origination fees are there?
Yeah, that's the nice part. We quote at par. We don't charge an origination fee. We do charge probably our lender legal is going to run anywhere from 20 to 35,000, give or take. Third-party reports, which is appraisal, Alta survey, property condition assessment report, and phase 1, et cetera. So we're going to get all the 4 reports. So when all is said and done, you're probably going to spend 50,000 ish, give or take.
Okay.
But there is no origination fee. So.
Okay. And then is there any sort of prepayment penalty or exit fee?
Yes, yeah, we definitely have a defeasance is typically what we do for a prepay, and then or yield maintenance as well.
Okay. And so on a defeasance or a prepayment penalty, how does that work exactly? What's that sounds like it's not a
Yeah,
flat percentage or
yeah, no, it's what we call a make whole provision. So basically, if I'm just using an example, so let's say the interest rate is 4%. When we close, you got 10 years. Let's say you pay off the loan in 5 years. Then what happens is we will go out to the treasury market for the amount left. So if there's 5 years left, we go to the 5-year treasury. We look and see what the bond rates are. So let's just say, for the sake of discussion, it's 2%. Then there is a deficiency because we would only get 2% versus 4. So that 2% delta or deficiency is what we're going to charge the client, the borrower, against the loan amount. So let's just say it's, for the sake of discussion, let's just say that it's, $10 million. Okay. And, let's say it's 2%. So that's 200,000, and then multiplied by 5 years. So that's $1 million. So it's pretty
oh,
heavy.
mm-hmm.
It's all based upon what's going on in the bond market. And if the interest rates are higher than that, the bond market, then you're fine. If they're lower, then you kind of pay the difference. Essentially, that's how it works. It's
Okay. So
very steep.
it sounds like a loan for somebody who has a long-term plan and wants to have it for the full term of the loan then and not pay off early.
That's correct. Yeah, it's somebody with full
Okay.
full term. And remember, someone can assume the loan for a point. So if a buyer comes in, you could bypass that by just somebody assuming the actual note. But
Mm,
that's risky. So
mhm.
you know
Okay, that makes sense. So in that way you don't have to pay that full defeasance or yield maintenance.
that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then what's the processing like on your side as far as underwriting timeline and approval? Is there a lot of steps to get through and a long timeline, or are
Yeah.
these generally quicker close?
Yeah. Let me walk you through process. So you would call me up, from your firm, walk through the deal a little bit, get us some stuff like P&L and a trailing 12, a rent roll, um, some color photos. We'd go ahead and size it up in our sizer. And then we'd come back to you, ask some questions. We'd get you a quote. If your client likes the quote, we go ahead and issue an application. It's usually about 10 to 12 pages long. We go through that, get that all tightened up. The client would sign the application and then send in the deposit for probably, about 50,000, give or take, is what we take. That will cover everything. And then that kicks us off. We do a kickoff call with everybody. And then we immediately start engaging the third party reports to get everything going. We engage legal and then we just move as fast as we can to get the reports back, do all of our underwriting, so that basically, by the time we hit about day 40, we're pretty much done and have documents ready to start issuing. And we just pretty much, we don't really go into committee. It's just, we've kind of already vetted it. So it's just a matter of going in there, getting it signed off, and then we lock the rate, and then we move to a close essentially. So that's generally the process. It's pretty smooth. We can close in 45 days. The only thing that could be a hiccup is, if the bond market goes haywire, that can definitely cause some ruckus. But for the most part, it's we close, probably, I don't know, 20 to 30 billion dollars a year, and we'll probably end up doing 100 billion maybe this year. So we do a lot of volume. We do big deals, and yeah. So that's kind of I think sort of what we do.
Okay, so yeah, and you're saying there's not really a committee. Is there, who would be the approving? Is it just an underwriter approves it,
Yeah,
or?
we definitely have, managing partners that oversee everything that will sign off on it, when it's all ready. So there's a lot of parties involved when we do the kickoff call. There's a, processor, underwriter, analyst, coordinator, closing department. So, it's a lot of hands on deck to make sure. But we really, once we sign it up at the front end, it's pretty much a done deal unless something really wonky comes up. That's the nice part with CMBS. It's not like a bank where you have to get tax returns and, do underwriting, do outside cash flow. And it's obviously non-recourse with carve out provisions, but that's we're focusing on the property.
I see. Okay. Um, and when you're doing your underwriting, what sort of cash flows are you looking for on it? Is it like the normal kind of 1.25 time cash flow on a property, or?
Yeah, about 1.25 is the underwriting. And, I would say that, we do standard vacancy factor. We take a replacement reserve of probably, oh gosh, could be 15 to 20 cents for replacement reserves as underwriting. We do about a buck to a buck 15 for TILC, which tenant improvements and leasing commissions. And then we come up with a net cash flow, and we just have to be at about a 120 to 125 debt service coverage ratio, essentially, is how we kind of derive our underwriting.
Okay. Okay. And on these loans, can you do anything with cash out, or anything like that?
Um, yeah, we can do cash out for sure. We'll obviously have to kind of see how long they've owned it, what their basis is, and what the value is. But yeah, we don't have a problem with cash out. So
Okay. Okay.
not a problem at all.
And then what about clients that, even if it's non-recourse, do you still look at the client's credit situation as far as history of like bankruptcies, or blips on their credit report?
Yeah, we look at we definitely will look at their credit, but we're very we're a lot more lenient on that. Just as long as we can get explanation, on what happened.
Okay.
So yeah, we're probably a little bit more liberal than most on that.
Okay. I think that answers my questions. I think I have a good understanding of what you guys are lending on over there. I don't know if there's anything that you can tell me other, that we haven't discussed. Maybe if there's any sort of, special programs or specific property types you guys are kind of getting a little more aggressive on lately for lending that would be good to be aware of.
No, I would say, our kind of niche is we do a little bit more underwriting up front because we want just to give you guys a really good answer. We are very quick on our turnaround time. We try to get answers fast and just make sure we're not wasting anybody's time. But yeah, when we say yes, we're confident,
Mhm.
So I'd say we'd love to look at some stuff from you guys, and hopefully you can start sending some stuff over. So what do you guys ever do CMBS stuff, or do you guys focus on?
Yeah, we do some CMBS. We work with a lot of different clients across really across the U.S. So definitely see investment properties, and could probably send some stuff your way. I don't know if you can put me on some sort of like email distribution and keep me in the loop on what you guys are lending on,
Yeah,
and then that way we can exchange emails, and yeah, I can distribute to my team also.
yeah, absolutely. Happy to do it. Why don't you shoot me off your contact information to just send it to Decker K at Decker.com.
Great. Awesome. Thanks for your time, Ryan. I will send you an email, and if you add me to your distribution list, I would appreciate it. And hopefully we can send some deals your way.
Thank you so much, Tom. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.